Angelo here. Welcome to my channel and welcome back for my stream. So guys, today is 8/18/2021 and me and Mono, what's up Mono?
Yep.
We just finished watching the Zizaran and Mathil interview with Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Now, the intro is a little weird. And we're sorting out some technical difficulties, but overall, I'm fine with it. Let me first say, I knew of Mathil, okay? And I've seen him in my recommendations on Twitch. But, like him, I've been busy just playing the game overall, so I haven't really had time to know who all the streamers are. And I'm one of those dumb, I guess what some people would say, those dumb hipsters that try to make up their own build and fail miserably. That's me. So basically, I'm doing what Mathil's doing, but incorrectly. So let me just start off by that guy is exactly what basically all interactions need with Chris Wilson. Because the last one kind of felt like you had four guys, all knowledgeable, incredibly knowledgeable, but they didn't really know what to say. They didn't know how to be very clear and concise with their wording and just their overall questions and answers and the things that they're asking. It basically kind of left for the moment because let's not get wrong. Chris Wilson can talk, boys. That guy, he's rap god. Like Eminem in the business world is Chris Wilson. So basically, if you give him like kind of an opening, he's going to try his best to articulate what you're trying to say or what you are saying, and he's going to do his best to turn that into either legal / that legalese and, or just business speak or just game developer speak. So be as concise as you can and clarify so he knows and he's not sitting there processing and literally having the Grinding Gear Games logo rolling in his head while you're asking the question. Aside from that, I mean, as I said with the startup, it was slow. I mean, we had the same questions. Like, God, I felt like they spent like an hour, maybe an hour and a half just on Harvest. Like, I mean, as far as the intro, Mono, what do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same questions, and I understand that most of the player base has kind of like this cookie cutter style of play. You get a build from a content creator, or you throw a bunch of numbers into POB, and you theory craft your item build. And basically, what happens is you invest a ton of time getting to this point where you're supposed to do all the end game content. And when that fell on its face, when your plan fell on its face, you had these options the past few leagues to be able to make up for that. And honestly, I don't know if that was the purpose of those mechanics. Um, I think Harvest was a experimental mechanic, and it changed what the core concept of the game was, which is an ARPG where you want to get items.
Well, also another thing I thought about recently is that was during the vid, so I don't know if YouTube's still like censoring that word. So, I'm being
Yeah, it gave people options to really dive in and experiment. And now I guess they're getting back on track. And
well, sadly, it looks like New Zealand's back in lockdown, which is very shitty.
yeah, that sucks. But the questions that I did like, they're trying to understand what chase items are. So is a chase item just a mirror headhunter, or is a chase item a Rice Latha's belt or Javron's? Like, what is a chase item? And should items that aren't as valuable for every class, should they be as difficult to get? Should there be a way to target farm them? So that's interesting to me, because I guess before you would farm the Minotaur to get the Brassstone Gladiator plate, or you would target farm a Chavron to get the wrappings or whatever.
I mean, like all that stuff that came way before
Yeah, that was
me and
way
us.
before
So
us.
to me, it doesn't make sense. Again, we could very well be looking at this game through rose-tinted glasses. But it seems my boy right here, Mathil, is feeling the same way. I absolutely loved the fact when he goes like they were saying, oh, the builds just don't work. And he's like what, Spellslinger? He's like, dude, there's plenty of people playing Spellslinger. Like, they're finishing end game content and doing everything, even in hardcore. Like, I get and don't want this to sound like I'm bashing Ziz, but sadly, I want to say that he's kind of like a union rep. For the poor guy was given all these demands, aka Reddit. He's the Reddit union leader or the Reddit mod. And then they basically gave him all the information. And at that point, he's like sitting there, and then they're all giving him these ideas. Now, just like a regular union rep, they're not the greatest ideas. Like, they're not they're not the best type of ideas you would ever expect. And then they go to the place and they say, hey, these are our demands. And it's kind of like, so what are your options to fix these? These are our demands because they said so. Collectively, everybody said so. But it's like, did they all collect? Like, I've been in a couple of unions, in my work career. And basically, like, the union doesn't talk to everybody. They talk to whoever was able to go to that supposed meeting or that phone call. So again, it's a very minute few, but they're supposedly representing everybody. So in this case, what is it? The vocal minority. They're, I guess, the Redditors or the people that are supposedly everything's not working right.
Well, that's the thing. If you can just play the same build every single league, if you can play the game without playing the game, it's counterintuitive. Like, we still don't understand path of building very well. And honestly, whenever someone says I do 50 million, yes. Is it when you crit? Is it
the total?
Yeah,
is there dot damage?
Yeah, like what does that entail?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, I do 1 million damage. It's like, dude, I'm looking at the toolbar at the bottom. That toolbar is telling my average damage. So that's what I'm going to go off of because that's in the game. This other thing's a third party, and I realized it when I was streaming yesterday, 2 days ago. I spent most of my, like, 3 or 4 hour stream, I was in just Path of Builds with chat, and we were trying to, like, supposedly get more... It's like, dude, I just want to play the game. I understand I'm having trouble in low red maps, low-tiered red maps, but it's like, I just got to play super smart. I'm hiding behind walls. Now they're telling me, that I can get up to 1 million DPS. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Everything's dead at 1 million DPS. This doesn't make sense. It's like, I'm doing, like, on the high end, 190,000. That's pretty good. That's pretty good to me. I don't think I was doing that much before, but I think my last build was a lightning trapper, and he was doing around, like, 90-ish thousand, but he was crits. So the crits could go higher and more damage could be done, etc., etc. This one, I'm using the resolute technique, so I don't crit at all. So my damage is flat damage, but it's consistent. So that's why the damage is higher, but there's no chance of ever getting extra damage. And like I said, I still feel play a different build every league. But if you want to get to the end and you want to have everything and all that stuff, because, all right, here's another thing. Just like I was talking about the union and everything. So let's say you are an actor, for instance, okay? And you're acting, you're doing whatever, you're trying to make your way through, and you've already broken through, you're doing some movie roles. And then some, Johnny come lately, some Joe Schmo just rolls up to you and says, hey man, I'm an actor too. I've seen all of Tom Cruise's movies from the Tom Cruise movie where he's at the pool hall all the way until, The Mummy. I know everything about Tom Cruise. And, so let me give you some pointers. And then you find out other people are coming up going like, oh yeah, me too. I've watched Tom Cruise. I loved him in Tropic Thunder. Let me give you some advice and hints. And then lo and behold, again, you have all these randos who you don't really know. And, you'll accept some of their feedback and criticism. But if you don't trust them, now, would you rather listen to them or would you rather listen to, I don't know, Tom Cruise? So the fact of the matter is, yeah, I'm cool with it, but at the same time, it's like, until I can get to where I'm Tom Cruise, I don't think I need to be Tom Cruise. I'm still going through. I still need to get through the low shit TV, or the low rent movies, or the extras, or side characters, and then you make it to the fucking main star. You don't go from just being Johnny Nobody to the main star. You don't become Tom Cruise overnight. Tom Cruise has been acting for what, 30 years now? 40 years? I think he's like an 80s actor. So damn near 40 years he's already been in this business. He's good. He's got talent, okay? He's got talent, he's got range. So like, basically, at that point, if you can get Tom Cruise to tell you some information, cool. But everyone else, in the words of Les Grossman,
first, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
Yeah. So that's my thought on that. So what about you there, Mana?
Well, the other thing was, you remember in the last kind of post thoughts, we're wondering, how can we get players to continue playing after Act 2? And
I mean, he addressed that.
He basically straight up said, these interviews are not for those players. These interviews are for the hardcore player base. And essentially they're gambling on Path of Exile 2 being more friendly to the newer player. The acts won't be as vast and difficult. And basically, these interviews, him taking time out of his day to address the things and see if there can be any fixes. See if they can do anything on their end.
Or another thing he also brought up was the part about, what was it? The data. They don't look at the data for solutions. They find a problem and then they go to the data.
Well, because there was that piece of data where a lot of players weren't doing the Clarissa quest.
I guess they just didn't click her.
And then they looked into it deeper, and it's not that no one was doing the Clarissa quest. It was because after they had done it once, they don't do it again. They just run past it because they're just running past and beating the game. So it was players playing the acts. So yeah, so that's why you can't just look at one piece of data and be like, oh, no one's playing. Like, you can't just look at Steam charts and base that on no one's fucking playing the game.
Very true, very true. And again, as he was saying, that was like the best answer they could have given. They're like, oh, the average player. And again, these are the questions I'm talking. It's a union rep. That's like somebody from a union going like, hey, we need more money. And it's like, okay, so are we gonna do something different? No, we just need money. Okay, but like, do you want to work more? Like, is there going to be something else that's going to spruce up the business to help us as a company work all together and make it? And it's like, oh, nah, because it's hard. What? See, so that's what I'm saying. Come up with a clear, concise goal. And the best thing I got to say about Mathil, I mean, yeah, people might say that was a fucking amazing quote where they had, he was like, your PayPal's not working. And I'll try and link it right here.
I think I have your email address wrong. Like, PayPal's saying it doesn't. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah. Overall, he was stumped when they brought up the defenses. He was very stumped.
Well, he straight up says, we don't know.
We got to talk to the team because honestly, right now, the defenses, if you change any of that, you either make someone immortal or you can make someone weaker. So I don't know if there is an answer for defenses. Because to go to a game that we're more familiar with, Dota, you can change a couple strength numbers and all of a sudden everyone is playing strength heroes.
Yep.
From support to mid to off lane, fuck, even carry. And then you just deal with these teams where everyone has 5,000 HP and you're sitting inside your base from 15 minutes till they end.
It's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, you can adjust a couple numbers and it completely changes the dynamic of the game.
And now this is PvP type game. So if you think about it this way, a PvP game has to be careful. Oh, a +1 or a +0.1 can change everything. Because just like I don't understand how the fuck when you go percentage and plus, or just raw plus, or damage physical plus the physical, how all those numbers add up into the average DPS you do. Like, hell, this league, because I usually played casters and minion builds and trappers and things like that, like, I had no idea attack speed is so fucking important on a melee or physical type character. Holy shit, okay? I'm learning everything new every league. And that's why, again, I say get out of the comfort zone. Or play your regular, but after that, after you get your currency or get to maps or whatever, and you run through the axe again, play a different character. Try something new. I mean, people kept on saying, like, they were talking shit about that hard mode. And that's another thing that kind of, I mean, I know it's not Zizaran's questions, but I think this was his question when he was talking about, like, you keep bringing up hardcore, or hard mode, but people are like, we don't understand. Why are you trying to base it around hard? He's not basing it around hard mode, man. What he's basing it on is right now he feels there's too much bloat. There's too many items. There's too many magic items, too many rares, and everyone says, I just passed it. I put an item filter on. What he's trying to get to is you don't need an item filter because the stuff that drops is so fucking rare and important that you're like, wow, that's amazing. But then as he's saying, it's a slippery slope because if he implements that now, then people are going to be like, oh, there's no drops. Oh, this game sucks. Oh, they're nerfing everything. So that's why people don't understand what a slippery slope means. They don't, because then, again, they're just the guys that are like, is hard. And then, like, man, again, Mathil, when he was calling him out on that one scene saying, like, what, it's hard to do that? And he's like, oh, yeah, man, I was playing, I mean, I felt bad for Ziz at this point, because, like, he was looking flustered, and he was just kind of like, I was doing Forbidden Right totems. And then, like, Mathil was just, like, asking, like, it's a totem build, man. You just drop the totems and you survive. Don't engage. Stay alive. But, like, I feel like, I'll tell you this right now. I sadly hit 11 deaths today.
Holy shit!
When I was playing today, and because of that, that's 11 deaths, and I just got the 4th Watchstone for Veritania. 11 deaths.
Damn,
First time playing a melee character. I feel like I've done enough. Now, granted, again, I don't do a million or 900k DPS according to POB, but I have 11 deaths. And to me, I feel that's fucking amazing because I think I had 60 deaths or so. Let's just round it up. I had like 69 deaths last league. So to be almost kind of where I was before, at 11, I feel fucking fantastic. But yeah.
But that's the difference in styles. So there's this, let's get a shit ton of DPS, we'll choke the boss down with our bodies, and get to the quote unquote end game. And then there's the hardcore play style where you're about survivability and then damage is secondary. So when talking about this subject and what the game is balanced for, I don't think you're supposed to just one-shot the boss. There's supposed to be some sort of struggle. You're supposed to have to dodge position. There's supposed to be a bit of a struggle every boss that you fight.
Like, for instance, today, again, I died to Veritania. I've never even seen these moves before. I didn't know she does that. Now, I don't know if this is because of the new thing or just because I'm playing a new class. And again, I'm not doing a million DPS. I'm only doing, according to what they told me, I do like 198k DPS. But dude, I don't even know how these numbers work because it's telling me that I do 100 and something DPS, 100 something K. And I'm experimenting with things. I'm trying out this this rage support because I'm going to be in there for a fight. Why not get a little more deeps as I'm hitting them to up my damage overall? It sounded good to me, and so far it's working out. It just takes time to get started. So I need to hit some creeps, or I need to hit the monster or whatever. And yeah, it's a learning process. It's my own. And then here's the thing: you're never gonna get the same items as a streamer or whoever made that build guy. Because I've read, like, I'm not opposed to looking at builds, but do it after you hit level 80 at least, or level 70. So at least you have a basis of your own, figuring out how you feel this character should be played. Then it's your own. I feel a lot of people are playing a lot of these characters like, oh, this is just a throwaway character. I'll just play something else. And then you have no reason to stick around and keep playing that character because now you're just done. It's just a thing. It's a function, as they called it back during Marvel vs. Capcom. Why play Magneto? You don't need Magneto. You can just play what was it, Nova. He's just another. He has all the functions just like Magneto. Dude, it's a different character altogether. Like, no, it's the same functions. So that's how lost some people are. And yeah,
And obviously there's gonna be more. So he's willing to do it again. He got to the 3 hour point, and there's gonna be more. And hopefully with these subsequent interviews, it starts being more specific on what people's questions.
and
Like
yeah,
like
that's it.
like for me, he looked like he was some cogs were moving in his head when Mathil was talking about the axe.
Yeah.
See, I'm really big on the axe because even Chris Wilson said there's parts of the axe he doesn't like.
Yeah,
So maybe it's Belly of the Beast. I don't know.
maybe.
But
Well, according to him, he said Acts 2 and 3 is when everybody falls off. He said, and that was another big thing when Ziz kept
so it's
talking
not
about.
Belly of the Beast. That's that.
Nah. Well, I mean, remember he's trying to get more players in it, and I guess he says people are dying at Brutus. Now, granted, when I first played, and I never used my flasks, yeah, I died once at Brutus. Sadly, that I was one of the people, but that was like when I first started playing the game, and I forgot about flasks. I'm like, I was trying to play it. I was playing a zombie build, and I was like, I don't know, casting too, because again, I didn't know how this shit worked. I still not until I got to maps, and I was still attacking with my zombies because I didn't know how that shit worked. I thought it was Diablo 2. Fucking A, what are you gonna do?
But the whole thing about it is just doing delve or just doing heist. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, that's fine, but I get what he's trying to say because, like, maybe if you farm so much that you unlock the path, like you do enough maps that are centered around delving, that bam, okay, now you've uncovered the hidden, or make it like a hideout. You discovered the end game. Make it worthwhile, something where you have to strive for
And then you
and
just
go for.
show up in Oriath, and then you get your map device, and
Yeah, like, how about that? You branch to what you want your end game to be. Like I personally, I think maps are okay, but if I could just be delving, endless delve, I'm down with that. If I could potentially just have a bunch of maps ready to go for heist, and then I just go in there, and then like I get more maps while I heist, like you're guaranteed at least one map per heist, so you never technically run out. I'm fine with that too. So like there's ways to do it, and again, maybe they're gonna have this new thing during 3.16 or 3.17. I forgot what they were saying. Where there's gonna be a new end game. I think it's 3.17. They were saying there's gonna be a new end game.
so yeah, and then Maven might not be there anymore.
Apparently, and then
Right.
I guess Prophecy's gone. Breach might be gone, or who? Maybe Harvest. Oh shit! I'm not gonna lie. When also Mathil said Osh Oshba Ohashbashi, whatever the fuck her name is.
Shabi?
Oshabi, yeah. I saw her that first time, and then the second time when she turns into the fucking tree, like that scene from Ninja Gaiden. When she turns into a tree, she's also there. But yeah, references no one ever knows. But aside from that, speeds like what? What is this? Again, I can't. We came in after Harvest and all that stuff. So we have no fucking clue what all this shit is. Unless Harvest was 3.13. We came in at the end of the last month of 3.13, and we had no idea about leagues or anything like that. So yeah. And yeah, I agree with Mathil. He said, I've never seen the boss. That boss doesn't exist. I agree with him. It was like, how are you supposed to progress forward to fight that? She's a boss? I didn't even know she's a boss. I thought she's a tree.
Wait, you're supposed to fight her?
Yeah. That's what he said. She's a boss. I'm like,
Oh.
she's a boss? She's a tree. I don't know. She's a tree, and she's like fucking that that scene from like Lord of the Rings when the trees are all moving forward and they're just like, oh, we're a tree. But yeah,
That's pretty much what I got out of it. Just the axe, the redundant questions that keep getting asked over and over. I mean,
okay,
the game is the game at this point.
yeah,
I did like the kind of fresher question in the chase items, the axe. That
Yeah, the
was
axe.
nice. The fact that they're gonna start rotating out league mechanics.
I mean that was a great way to say it. Like as far as like the gems and whatnot, saying like it's kind of like if we're taking the dog out back and coming back with a slightly different dog. I mean, granted that's more for the gems, but I also get the fact that like if you buff the gem, you don't necessarily have to nerf a top, the ceiling
it's-
and the floor, the ground.
It's like the defense thing we were talking about. You can move one number, and all of a sudden, this thing's just one shot and everything. So you can't. Buffing is very dangerous. Nerfing also sucks, but you can really fuck up a buff.
Yeah, yes, you
and
can.
just not make anything else viable.
Agreed, which is why I say if something's already buff, leave it, but also buff something that's really fucking shit. That's what I always say. But a lot of times when you buff something that's really shit, you always have to nerf something at the top. I don't know why it's like that. I mean, again, I'm not a game developer, so I can't say it. And then here's another thing. I was asking this, like, because I don't know if you guys ever heard of this game, but it's a lot of shit on screen kind of game. It's a game called, I think, Ikaruga, and I think it was on the Dreamcast. But that game, it balanced out between light and dark, and basically it had two sides of the ship. And then what it would do, because shit on screen is flying at you, you would flip, and any of like the blue or white like dots or lasers that were coming at you, you flip your ship to the white side so you can absorb it. So it absorbs damage, but you can still get hit by the dark or the red lasers coming at you. So then if the red laser is coming at you, then you switch over to the red side or the dark side. And then so it's like a offense defense. Now, I don't know if there would be like a weapon shield combo or if there would be like a two-hand, but then you would have to like possibly switch weapons and then you can absorb some damage, switch back to. I think that would be a cool mechanic. I don't know, because then that would be the hard balance, because you could switch pretty fucking fast in this game. You push that X button, you're on your next setup. So let's say that you're like fighting, you're taking a bunch of damage, switch to your defense damage. Now, granted, you can't really, do it. I don't know. Like I said, this is just some bullshit I'm thinking of, but it's an idea. So
and then another thing I liked was the Diablo II confrontation. so he, I mean, I'm sure not everyone feels that way. That Diablo 2 is just, it's whatever. They don't look at this game as a spiritual successor to Diablo 2, but the way he said it, and it kind of like, it gave another perspective. Well, so like yeah. Zizaran even said, yeah, us old school gamers, we love Diablo 2. It's nostalgic, but then on Mathil's side, he's just like, dead game, 20-year-old dead game.
Exactly.
And I don't side with either or. I don't have many memories of Diablo. Your memory of Diablo 2 is terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah. My Diablo 2 memory, I just played an archer. I had OP gear. I had someone helping me, so there's not much nostalgia there. And
I was literally a paladin aura.
Well, you did have some fun with the offline corpse explosion.
Well, yeah, that was when it first launched and shit, and then it got fucking nerfed to the ground, and that was what there's no fucking orb of ragrets.
Yeah.
There's no orb of ragrets that you're able to, mess with. It would just, you're done. And then just like, sucks to suck or something like that. So, aside from that, I mean, I feel this was, in my opinion, generally speaking, better. Nothing against the Baeclast, but the Baeclast was just kind of all over the place. Now, granted, I want to say, who was it? Tarklecat?
Yeah, Tarklecat.
Tarklecat was a much better, like, if he was like a host or presenter, he was able to move it along very, very rapidly, very smooth. He was smooth with his everything. Ziz, like I said, nothing against him, but I think he was just under a lot of pressure, because here's another problem. I don't think anyone from Tarkley, or was it Rise, or Noogie, or, shit, sorry, buddy, I forgot the last guy. Don't hate me, but I'm just going off the top of my head and off script. My bad, bro. But yeah, you too. Sorry. But I feel like none of them were looking at stream chat, none of them were looking at chat. I feel like both Chris Wilson, which I think is fine for Chris Wilson to look at chat, because man, he must be just either just rolling.
Crafting tab.
Yeah, the crafting tab, all that stuff. Dude, he's got some funny fucking zingers, man. He's good. He looks like a guy that when he gets drunk, he's that funny guy at the party. Shit, I lost my train of thought there. But I want to say when I think Mathil was there, he just kind of slightly interjected and he would slightly jab, and what's the best way to describe the way that his interaction seemed the realest. Like if we were all just in a room, that's what I'm trying to say. With Mathil there, he brings a sense of realism as a person, as a player. Because a lot of these people, when you see presenters or something like that, it's very forced. And I think he was the only person during this like interview / podcast that wasn't looking at chat. Like I have the stream in the background going there, so you can see them every now and again. But then most of the time, Mathil, I think he has his chat turned off. I mean, and he's just sipping his drink, just kind of not reading chat. But then you can see constantly, Ziz is always looking. So I feel the poor guy was just under so much pressure to appease his chat and just all that stuff. But it's a rough place to be. I think at that point, you have to turn off. You have to turn off your chat, especially if you want a true one-on-one. I mean, this is the fucking lead developer.
Well,
this is the lead, and you have literally 3 hours of time. So if you just completely look at those questions and like go over them, and you have it ready, you know. But again, I guess this is hosting and knowing that you're on a strict timeline.
So going back to Dota 2. When your hero gets nerfed, what happens? So let's say we played a patch, fucking Battle Cup victories, everything crazy, easy compendium challenges, all sorts of rewards, whatever. Then your hero gets nerfed. What happens?
Well, sadly, no one ever plays it.
Well, how do you adapt to that patch? What do?
Oh, well, first you got to look through the patch notes, and then you got to find other synergies, and then if your character got nerfed, either it was too OP, so now you got to find something else. Like what was it? Monkey King. What was the big thing? Echo Saber into Desolator or something like that. And then that got nerfed, so then people started just going straight into what Echo Saber into like Scotty. Yeah. And then they started. Because then they took away his HP.
Yep.
After his compendium and everything and his arcana was over, and then they were just ready to, you buff the new characters so that they sell arcanas. I get it.
And then they changed his move speed so he would go drums.
Yep.
But yeah, see, you change your hero. So if your class gets nerfed, you change your class. There's a compromise. And this is the thing. There's no compromise right now. There's roll the game back to Ritual League. And then if there's a new league mechanic, just make it the new league mechanic, but give us everything you gave us in Ritual, the OP harvest, all that shit. And make a compromise. How about, why don't you do a challenge league that's just Ritual? Give us a Ritual challenge league and give us a number. This many people have to play in Ritual League, and this many people have to get to maps. And if you guys are that serious and the turnout is crazy, we will give you guys Ritual League, a little side league that you can get every single new new league. So when the league start happens, you can go hardcore, you can go the fun league or standard trade, whatever it's fucking called.
It's definitely not called softcore. That's porn.
You can go the fucking Ritual Challenge League or whatever the fuck. But there has to be a compromise, and it needs to be organized. The information needs to be organized. Like what is really what this section of the community actually wants, and be specific. Okay, because if you go to the Dota developers like, hey, I want my Lich back, where I can just sit in fucking lane, deny the range creep, armor my carry, and fuck off the rest of the game and do what I want. They're gonna be like, you did that for a whole year. Go back, go make a time machine or something and go back in time and play that. So there's an opportunity to communicate what you want to the developer and be concise. Organize it. And have a stretch goal, like this many people need to sign up for this challenge league. This many people need to get to this point in the challenge league. Put your money where your mouth is if you really want that back. Because any other developer would tell you to fuck off.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, let's bring Les Grossman in here.
Yeah.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face.
And that's what Les Grossman would tell you. So it's like,
because it throughout the whole thing, what I saw was we'll try to make a compromise. Talk to the developers. We'll see what we can do. But where's the compromise on the players' end? And as he said, he's making a fucking a 3-hour compromise to do these interviews.
Yeah, think about it. He only has 21 hours left in his day now.
Yeah, and for us, we're thinking about how do we get the new player. No, he's not even talking about that. He's like, these interviews are for the hardcore player base. And if you guys really are having that much trouble getting the maps, getting to the end game content, this is something they need to look at, because their new player grab is Path of Exile 2. Yeah. Path of Exile 1 is for us, all of you, even the people who are screaming to the ends of the earth that they want Ritual League back.
But he's still there. And again, if you are just concise and you know exactly what you want and you know how, it's, again, Mathil is a person who strikes me as someone that actually has had a hard job, or just a working job, or just he knows how to talk to people, or he's been possibly even in management in some fashion. I don't know, fast food, some sort of like work, maybe, I don't know, any kind of business where basically the overall higher ups treat you like shit. That's what Mathil seems like. And it sounds like he learned that overall speak and being direct, but also knowing exactly how to explain your point. Because there was that one time where he explained that point so well to Chris that he just went, okay, I never thought of it that way. Thank you. We'll look into it with the team. Easy. And as he said, I got a yes from him. All right, guys, you all, you owe me. Because like all the other time, he's like, I don't know, we'll think about it. Or he'll be like, no. So just like also with jobs, again, it's crazy how all this shit, something I always say is like, it's all connected. Everything's connected. So just like if in a job spot, let's say that you want to switch shifts, something happened and you want to trade shifts with one of your coworkers. You don't just go to management and be like, hey, switch our shifts, or be like, or hey, I need this day off. And then they'll look at you as like, okay, well, fuck off. Again, Les Grossman, where are you?
And literally fuck your own face!
Yeah, so Les Grossman will tell you that. And basically with that, from there, you have to go out, find another person who's willing to trade with you. You find that person, you both go to the management, and you tell them, hey, this person's going to work my shift, I'm going to work their shift, we're going to swap. And then you know what the management usually says? Oh, cool, thanks. If you already pre-set up and get the work done beforehand, it's done. But if you come up to them expecting them to do everything, now sadly, I think Mathil said that too. He's like, I don't know how to get that. Like Chris asked him, was like, how would you get that to work? So, I don't know. You guys figure that out. So, I mean,
yeah, it's about compromise. Go through the proper channels. You communicate as clearly as possible, and you get a result. Is it the result everyone wants? Who knows? I mean, back to the Dota thing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to play this hero the same way you've been playing for a year? Fuck off. The tournament season is going to go. Everyone's going to adapt to the new patch. You can scream to the ends of the earth about wanting to play that hero the same way you've been playing it for however long. It's time to move on. And you know what? If that build that you've been doing for the past 2 leagues doesn't work anymore, find another one. And if Path of Building doesn't give you an accurate representation of what your damage is,
yeah, like 2 billion damage.
Yeah, go in and tinker around. And if you don't have time to do that, it hurts to say, but it's time to find another game. It's unhealthy to over-identify with a game to the point where it brings you nothing but misery. It really is. And apparently there's other good ARPGs out there. Why not try those out?
Or what is it? Diablo 2. Hey, guys.
Hey, resurrected.
Resurrect your old Diablo 2.
Resurrect your happiness.
Yeah, that right there, Diablo 2, it has everything you want. Or, Diablo 3, right? I mean, everything you want. You got an auction house. You can skip, I think, maybe in that game. I don't know.
I'm going to be real with you. That looks like some goofy, cartoony
shit. Never mind.
I mean, it's not for us.
It's all about the auction house.
Happy, if it makes you happy.
Well, I mean, put it this way. It's like, what are your alternatives and what are your options? If you hate this game that much, Blizzard would love you right now. So go help out Blizzard. Play that Diablo 2. Play that Diablo 3. You know, I'll play some WoW. Maybe that's your game. Yeah, you know, see, there's plenty of other games that'll probably sink you right in. And then I'm sure those devs will talk to you just like they do every week, just like Chris Wilson. But okay, guys, this is definitely one of our longest breakdowns and our fucking thoughts. In a way, I could turn this into a Hideout Warriors podcast thing, but I think I'll just call this the breakdown. So, Mono, any closing thoughts?
Starting out my occultist and actually having a lot of fun. Found out a node that makes it a lot easier for me to go through the game. What about you?
For me, again, sadly, I died recently to Veritania, but I'll tell you this now. I know what she does. I didn't know what she did, okay?
Like the Asmon, you're an idiot, but you take every single experience and you study the shit out of it.
100%.
You remember it?
Well, I feel personally, in my opinion, if you don't take deaths personally, you're not going to learn from it. Because if you die, it's like, oh, I died. And you just run back in. Oh, I died. And you just run back in there. I died.
And then your 1,000 dead bodies fills up the chamber, so the boss can't even move anymore.
There's that, or your dead bodies aren't in because you're out of 6 portals. So then you're just kind of like, I never need to fight that boss anyway. So it's like, then you'll never learn. You never beat it. But for me, when I was fighting her, I was like, dude, that is death number 11. I'm fucking angry. And I'm not going to fucking die again. So when I went into that shit, I'm like, oh shit, she has this move. Oh shit, she has this move. Oh, damn, she shoots that shit? God, I never even seen these attacks before. But yeah, I guess for the 4th Watchstone for Veritania, those are what she does. And I'm like, damn. Again, like I said, homegrown build. Most people say I'm a scrub, but guess what? I'm still playing the game. Are you? And that's another thing where homeboy Mathil was all like, casual.
Because he didn't get those trial master fights.
No, he was just talking about like, you can't do it this way or whatnot. And he's like, oh, you don't play the game enough. And like, dude, man, I feel Mathil was just on fire, dude. He was just like burning. But yeah, man, what a god. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, anything else for you guys?
Oh, that's it.
All right, guys. Let us know in the comments below. I will admit, if you guys made it this far, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Even if you hated me on my last video breakdown I had with Mono, because, yeah, a lot of thumbs down. Not as much as some of my other videos, but, I mean, that was a pretty good...
Any exposure is good exposure.
I guess so. So, I mean, hey, everyone's right to their opinion, and, yeah, I post it. Say, like I said, it's a discussion. You let me know what you think. I'm eager to find out, so... Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you guys out there. Later.
Freeze! Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hold your fire! I'm a human!